You remember way back March 4th, 15 days ago, I went out and I did some milk jugging experiments. Today we're going to see how that went. We'll see. And I also got a surprise for you. I got a fellow friend here that's going to give us an update on how she's been doing with her jugs. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I know you subscribed so you could see how my jug experiment went. Today we're going to go through everything. I got to say, probably not going to be some good news. Let me first off caveat that on Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, we had lovely weather. We've had kind of, the mid 40s, kind of going through 40s for the lows, 50s, 60s for the highs for a week. And then all of a sudden, Sunday hit. We had a severe thunderstorm come through. And then next thing you know, the temps just dropped. Monday night got down to 13 degrees. Evidently, that was not good for the milk jugs. Matter of fact, Monday, it didn't even get above freezing all day. Tuesday, we finally crept up into the upper 30s. Today, we are doing pretty well. So we're Wednesday, Thursday here. We are back into the 60s, 70s. So we've been kind of riding that wave. Let's take a look. You can see some of the broccoli has not done very well. I do have a couple things that did do pretty well. That include my spinach that was out there. The poppies that did well. The lavenders have yet to be seen, so I think those things are just going to take some time to pop up. They're supposed to have a little cold stratification anyways, so maybe this will help them out a little bit. But I don't know. The milk jug experiment is not a failure. It's my first attempt in learning. I'm learning how to do this. So we're going to learn from our mistakes, and we'll go from there. One, I think I need to either put these guys out earlier or later. I think the swing in temperatures really wreaks havoc on them. So the swing with that very downward swing with 13 in March, middle of March, I think it was March 12th, we had the downward swing. That's not a good thing. So I probably should have took those inside, at least put them in my garage, somewhere where it's not going to get below, let's say 15 degrees or so at night. Once that sun gets off those things, I imagine they probably cooled off pretty well. There are some broccolis that survive that, so we'll see. In the meantime, let's go check in with Angela and see how things are doing in hers.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Hippie Chick Homestead. Thought I'd do a quick update and show you what's happening with the winter sowing that I've done. I've had a few things come up that I put outside in early February, and then I've had a few surprises in the greenhouse. So I thought I'd let you take a look. The first thing that I put outside was celery. I sowed this on February 1st, and I just sow it, scattering the seeds across the top of the soil and seeing what's going to come up. And they've done really well. I won't eat this much celery in my lifetime probably, but I will let them get a little bit stronger and then start thinning them out to plant the strongest stalks outside in the garden. Our last frost date is around April 30th, so they've got a ways to strengthen up and be ready to go outside. Then I've also got poppies, which I sowed on February 6th, and those have also done really well. If you've ever sown poppies, you know that they are about the smallest seeds imaginable. So these were scatter sown, and when I go to transplant them out, what I will do is just take the whole chunk of these out of the milk jug and just divide up groups of them to put in the ground. So they'll be transplanted in a clump. And these will go in my perennial bed and not in the vegetable garden. If you peek down there, you can see they still have pretty thin stalks. So they've got some growing to do. And I may thin these out a little bit to give the remaining ones a little bit more room. We'll see how they do over the next couple of weeks. Then the other thing that I sowed on February 9th, and I didn't expect them to come up so soon, was sunflowers. And these have done really well. I have no idea why they were so successful. Sunflowers usually don't germinate that quickly for me, and they did. You can tell this one still has his seed coat on there. And the stems on these need to strengthen up a bit before they're up potted. So that's the winter sowing that I did by putting things outside, and I was pretty pleased with the success of those. I also did onions and alliums inside the greenhouse, and these have just had a haircut, so they look a little bit shorn. I sowed these on February 1st. These are Patterson onions, which are great storage onions. And then these were shallots. They've also just had a haircut. I planted these, I sowed them first on January 15th, and I didn't get great germination from them. So I re-sowed them on February 9th and got a little bit better germination rate. These are spring shallots. So unlike the shallots that you plant in the fall with the garlic and then harvest in spring, these are planted in spring and harvested in late summer, early fall. I'm not really pleased with the germination rate, but this will give us enough shallots that I'm not too upset about it. And then the other thing that I've never planted before, and I was really surprised by how well these did, is leeks. These were sown on January 29th. They've also just had a haircut, so you can see they've got kind of a flat top going on, but they've done really well. Scatter sowed, put a little bit of soil on top of the seeds, left them in the greenhouse, and just let them go, and they've done really well. The other things I planted and I left in the greenhouse were some tomatoes, and I didn't expect them to come up as soon as they did. These were sown on February 27th. These are Sun Gold tomatoes. And I do heat my greenhouse, so I never let the temperature go below about 40, 45 degrees. And in the daytime, if it's sunny outside, it can stay consistently in the 70s, even up to mid 80s. So apparently the warm weather we had a week or so ago gave them the motivation to really go for the sun. So the Sun Golds have come up. I sowed 9 seeds in this milk jug, and I have 9 seedlings just starting to show their true leaves. So these will stay in the milk jug. I may add a little bit of soil just to top this off, and got to keep them alive until late April, early May before I can put them out. I've also got a variety of tomato called Jory, and this was from Adaptive Seeds, which is a Pacific Northwest company, and the seeds are particularly suited to our climate. And you can tell these are really leggy. This milk jug was pretty frosted, so they were reaching for the sun, and obviously the sun was on this back side because they're all leaning that way. So I'm not going to transplant these yet, even though they do have their true leaves. I'm going to add soil up to the top of where the milk jug was cut. So it'll take the soil level up about 1.5 inches, 2 inches up their stem, and that will give them what they need to continue to grow and develop stronger stems. So that's a quick peek at what's happening on the Hippie Chick Homestead. Thanks so much for dropping by. Hope you're having a great day in the garden where you are. Take care, y'all.
So you can see she's done very, very well with this. You can tell she is very seasoned at using the milk jugs. So I think I have a little bit to learn here. I do just as good with my stuff out here, but man, if I could master those milk jugs, it'll save me from the time on hardening off plants, save me the time on just watering and doing different things down here in the grow room. I do like tinkering, but sometimes it does get, time consuming. So I'm still gonna pursue some of this, and it will save me some stuff on the shelf back here as well. So as you can see down here, I'll show you down here with the other plants that I planted, how well they're doing. I think they're doing pretty well. They're coming up. They're looking good. They look like the other plants were a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, but then they just died off because they hit that freeze. I think I learned that maybe if I see a freeze coming, I just need to grab those milk jugs, bring them in, and then bring them back out after the freeze is done. I think those little hardy plants those little plants are not that hardy and they can't take anything. Now I did have a disaster, as you would have seen earlier in the week if you watch any of my shorts. that whole hoop house, it just ripped open from that severe storm that we had. And then those temps plummeted. I lost a ton of brassicas, not gonna lie. Stuff happens. That's why you garden. Gardening is life. Life is in the garden. Things happen, things get killed. I took a chance and I failed. Stuff happens. So all in all, I think the experiment is going to have to be an ongoing experiment. I think we're going to learn more next year. I'll try to get things out a little earlier. But there are some things in there that I can try. And there are some things I can get, some things I can still try to see how hardy they are versus some of these. As you've seen some of those broccoli plants, there's still one or two that are still surviving. So maybe I can get some really, really tough broccoli out of that. We'll see. I don't know. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about this. Do you think I just completely failed? Do you guys think I should be doing something different? What should I have done different? Let me know. I'm reaching out to you, the Dirty Fingernail Gang, to see what I should be doing different. Please, please, please let me know. I'm learning here. You guys have a chance to teach me. I love this. Cheers, everybody. God bless.